Peace and love, Dr. Jason E. Williams here with Brother Crip Jesus. We're here at the LA Museum of Science and Natural History. So right here, Henrietta Lacks, an unsung hero of modern medicine. In 1951, doctors treated Henrietta Lacks, took her cells without her knowledge or consent. So right there, doctors treating Henrietta Lacks took her cells without knowledge or consent. They're stealing her body parts. Her cells are now mass produced and used in life-saving research worldwide. So what does that mean? Let's repeat it. Her cells are now mass produced and used worldwide. So before I end it, Henrietta's contribution to science in her family, power over her medical information, were ignored for decades. Today, the Lacks family advocates for scientific advancement that promotes health equity. So right here, they're telling you, well, I want to ask you guys this, look at this. Is she a superhero? Is she an alien from outer space? Because there's no description that she's an alien or a super hero. So now think about it. Her cells are now mass produced. So that's basically telling you that Moorish women, black women, they kidnap you, they eat you, and they use black women for medicine. That's really what it's saying.
Now, right here, we talk about the using it for medicine, right? You could look up something called, oh my bad. You could look up something called mumia. In Europe, they used to take the mummies. The reason we can't find our ancestors today is not an accident. You know what I mean? They took many of these mummies on purpose all around the earth, and they would eat them. They would crush them up and use their bodies for medicine. This has been going on for thousands of years, and they never stopped. So now that they've running out of mummies, and they're running out of ancestors grab, and they've done doing their research and learning, oh, they don't have to wait till they're dead, right? Now they're snatching this up while alive. So they took this sister while alive, told her she had cancer, did all type of weird stuff to her while she was supposed to be dying of cancer, which I question if she even really had cancer. They probably diagnosed her on purpose to tamper with her blood and her DNA. So sisters, we gotta understand this is deeper than just, oh, they want to dress like us and look like us. They everything down to when you're going to get your pap smear to your mammogram. You gotta be careful because your DNA is precious. They know you're a goddess. Do you know you're a goddess though? You know.
So right here, we have proof at the LA Museum that you guys all could come see next to USC and the LA Coliseum. We'll repeat it again. Her Henrietta's contribution to science in her family, power over medical information, were ignored. Today, the Lacks family advocates for scientific advancement that promotes health equity. So once again, they're advocating for the acknowledgement that our people are being experimented on till to this day. So not just Tuskegee experiments. That means that all of Kaiser, all of your whole entire medical industry is founded upon your cells, your melanin, your neuromelanin is medicine. So this is where all the kidnapped black children are going. This is where all the abducted black women are going. They're going into your melatonin gummies, your melatonin pills, and it's done to empower the pale skinned Europeans who are vampires.
Facts. And speaking of vampires, you know, a lot of realities are turned into myths and jokes, if you will, through television and media. So one of the main things that's been used to turn this science that we're talking about into a joke is the concept of a vampire. When you hear vampire, you think somebody's going to fly out like a bat and transform and suck your neck and go, ooh, baby, I like the pizza, ooh, spaghetti. But no, the vampire is the doctor. The vampire is the TV. The vampire is that goddamn cell phone. Because the same way the cell phone can raise your blood pressure, it's all used to drain your life force from you to them. And it's working all day, every day. So the first step is awareness. We got to be aware of these things. We got to be aware to not always run to daddy, who we assume is daddy for every little problem, right? We got to grow up to some degree because it was our lack of knowledge that led to this. And I know many people personally who were diagnosed with all type of crazy things and started watching, Dr. Sebi's videos and learning different things and going on their own spiritual journey. And they could look back themselves and tell that the doctors and nurses that they were dealing with were attempting to drain them and use them for their own experiment.
And look how they lighten this sister up. If a person didn't know who Henrietta Lacks was, you would think this possibly be a Hispanic or Caucasian woman. So this is scary, because they're letting you know that the government and the science centers are bragging. So us as indigenous people, we care. Now imagine if you're not us reading this. It's letting you know that black woman, you are up for sale. But look at this right here. These are Henrietta's Lacks cells, known as the HeLa cells. These cells have contributed to major scientific advances, from understanding cancer and HIV. Ain't that something?
You know what's crazier too? Her cells are immortal.
Yes, I forgot about that.
So
I forgot.
Is the original woman immortal in her default setting? Is everything done to her so much to break that out of her and even essentially suck it from her?
Yes, because there's that video circulating. I think it was the record producer, or he had the so-called black woman at the table, and he said, "I want your stem cells."
And they were selling them. Those women were meeting with them to sell them. And the crazy thing was, those women were meeting with them. I don't think those women knew what stem cells meant. I think those women were meeting with them. Someone told them, you want some money, you just got to do this or that. You just got to give them this, or you just got to give them this much of your blood, or you just got to, girl, you on your period or something, just give them the stool, you know what I'm saying? And so, okay, I give you that. Just like when they got the sperm clinics, right? They're creating humans out of this stuff. This is not, this shit sounds science fiction, but it's going on right now. Oh, I don't know. It's a very big number, though, for sure. I know that. And it's beyond even monetary value, because the power of it is just indescribable. You know what I'm saying? So what we have to understand is the mitochondria of the original woman, you're dealing with a science that goes back to the essence of life itself. Feel me? There's not really a number you could put on it. So the currency from the false paper is just to say, that's just to spark you know what I mean? 100,000, 10,000, $300. Ooh, whatever your number is, I get you going. Take me. You're infinite, but you'll give yourself up for the price. And the only reason you'll give yourself up for the price is because you were born into a system that taught you have nothing to begin with. You get what I'm saying? And that's the first problem here. You know what I mean? That's where nationality and science, white, black, or any of these things, we're being born into situations and machines that are telling us we have to do things for money to have value, when we are already infinite value in ourselves.
Powerful. And so when it comes to the placenta, I know that they say eyes, the liver, skin, all different organs do have a price on the black market. And there's movies that they even have that show you how the vampires, when they're abducting the kids that are abducting the people, they'll be like, he's athletic, she was doing this, they know your diet. So that means they're following you. That's why social media, probably they do that as well, to see your lifestyle, to see what you do. And it's like a delicacy, just like you eating fish or shrimp or a certain steak. And so there's actual restaurants all throughout your cities, your major cities, that have back doors, underground doors and rooms, to where these so-called Europeans can come and eat you. You're on the menu. So right here, from understanding cancer and HIV to developing the polio vaccine. So that meant that they developed a vaccine based off of the abduction of a Moorish so-called black woman.
Yeah, they got all type of products made off of her.
So, but Henrietta's impact extends beyond medical breakthroughs. Her and her family's experience continues to improve ethical guidelines and laws that protect patients and research participants. So right there, they're letting you know that it's still a problem. It's still a problem of so-called black women and black people being abducted. But in this case, the immortal woman, the creatress of civilization, our mothers, and I as a Maya, a Mason, a Maya, a Naga. So therefore, we know who the infinite being is. It's our mothers. She brings life. She brings life. We come through her vagina into this matrix hologram reality. So, and then before I pass it, look at this, y'all. The HeLa cells are immortal, brother Crip Jesus. They divide endlessly, making them easy to grow in research labs. This HeLa cell is dividing into two. This is the sister cells that brother Crip Jesus had to point out are immortal. And so, unless she is a superhero, every single black woman is immortal. And I am a descendant of the so called black woman, the Moorish woman. Therefore, I am her son. Therefore, that would make me my son or God's son. Therefore, I am God because my mother creates God. So that means she ascends any so called male avatar, because right here they're letting you know that she is infinite.
Yeah, word is bond. And we see this also. You look back in so-called slavery times where you see them putting their feet on black people to absorb their energy, having the black mothers breastfeed their children on their behalf. You know what I mean? This is very understood amongst those in the know. We just try and put ourselves in the know, to know ourselves. Peace.